What is up, guys, and welcome back to Marvel Monday. Now, today's episode is going to be a little bit weird. Now, I am going to be technically splitting up this last Marvel episode into two parts, just because I have so many more Marvel minifigures that I want to talk about. But today, I'm going to clear up a couple of errors that I made in a couple past videos, or just some things I left out. But besides that, I'm going to be talking about my LEGO Spider-Mans today. So I guess the first error that I want to clear up is I did technically leave out one Iron Man minifigure, and that is this one right here. This came in the 2021 Advent Calendar, and you can see why I might have overlooked this as being an Iron Man minifigure. It's just supposed to be Iron Man or like Tony Stark in a sweater. As you can see, it has his name on the back and even like little Iron Man and everything. It did come with that like helmet that I really don't like, but with this set, it's not that big a deal just because this isn't like a typical Iron Man minifigure. And it did come with a hairpiece for him, and he does have the same face printing as most of the other ones, but I do like how they gave him this like ugly sweater sort of thing. It's even pretty cool that his arc reactor is actually like a snowflake. I just did happen to forget to talk about this one on my Iron Man episodes, so I kind of classified it more as a Tony Stark, but I guess it is an Iron Man, and so I just forgot to mention that one quick thing. Now, another minifigure that I forgot to talk about in the Marvel Villains episode is Aldrich Killian. I completely forgot that I had an Aldrich Killian. He was in a separate box, so that's why I sort of overlooked him, because I don't have him out on display. I do like how he has this like tan sort of suit, and like you can see like a blue shirt underneath. Even has like a little bit of back printing here, just a little bit of detail. It's a nice touch. He has this really nice hairpiece. This is like what the hairpiece Draco Malfoy is supposed to have looks like, only that one would have been blonde. You might be wondering why his head looks so weird. And no, it's not actually a white head. It will be kind of hard to show this on camera, but that is because this is actually a glow-in-the-dark head. Now, this is one of the only glow-in-the-dark LEGO pieces that I have in general. I know that there are some in some of the other sets, and I have a few other ones, but this is the only minifigure that has this, so I'm really disappointed I forgot to talk about this in the Villains episode. Now, he does have this really nice back of the face printing here, where he has all these, like, red extremis marks, and his eyes are, like, this glowing color. It looks really cool once it glows in the dark. So, yeah, that was just another one, a slight one that I forgot to talk about. And another Marvel villain I forgot to talk about is Sandman. Now, this is the only version of Sandman I have. It is a bit of a shame that it only came with this, like, base piece here, and didn't come with, like, another pair of legs to give him. Not the end of the world. It's still a pretty cool minifigure. I like how this arm is like the sand color and everything, and how this one's like his green shirt. How you can see it like changing over and everything. I think that's pretty cool. Now, honestly, another thing about this is like, just like the face is like a standard piece, and his hair is pretty standard. It doesn't really necessarily look like him a ton, but it doesn't need to. I can understand using a generic headpiece. But besides that, this like sand base here is this nice like cool like little swoosh that brings him up top. Does make him look really cool. Now, the Iron Man I just showed a bit ago, I talked about came in the Advent Calendar. So the first Spider-Man I'm going to talk about is a Spider-Man that came in that Advent Calendar, and that is this version right here. Now, I do like how they've tried to give him like some different looks over time, how like it's not always like just like the same Spider-Man they gave you. Some of the heroes looked a little bit different and had like a more festive look, like Iron Man, for example. But I do like how they just gave him this like Spider-Man jacket, I suppose. It's cool how he has his like yellow vest, and then like these are like his orange sleeves. And as you can see, he does have a little spider logo, and he has this nice little Spider-Man wording on the back with like the logo peeking out. Besides that, no leg printing, just gave him the standard red hands, and I'm pretty sure this is a reused headpiece, but that's fine. A lot of the Spider-Mans reuse parts because they look similar enough. But yeah, it's just a cool little variant, and it's not my favorite look. I understand why they would do it though, but I might honestly just give him like a Peter Parker face and make this like a Peter Parker, I guess. The next Spider-Man I'm going to talk about came in one of the mech suits, and that is this version right here. Now, this is a pretty standard look. Some of the darker red here doesn't stand out a super ton on camera. The chest print and where the printing is pretty well detailed and everything. I'm not the biggest fan of the back printing on it, but this was actually the first Spider-Man minifigure I ever got, and it came out, like, pretty recently. So yeah, it's a pretty standard what you would expect minifigure. It's not my favorite version of Spider-Man, but it was cool just to have a version of Spider-Man when I first got it. The next Spider-Man I have is the one that came in the set, the same set as the Sandman here, which was a cheap, like, $5 set, I think. Like, it wasn't expensive at all, as opposed to the mech suit was, like, 10 or 15, I think. It's just strange that the cheaper set actually came with a better minifigure than, like, the other one, and that is this one right here. I do like how his suit, all these lines are a bit darker. It really makes it, like, show up and pop a little bit better. Now, what's really cool about this one is it has the, like, red arm printing on the sides. Now, Spider-Man typically has, like, the red on the side of the arm and the blue underneath. And I think that this more accurately represents that, which is surprising that like the minifigure that was technically cheaper is just better. And the spider design on the back is a lot better as well. But it's just like such a nice touch that it has this arm printing here. Really adds like some depth to it. Once again, there's no leg printing, but that's fine. I don't really think it needs it a ton. It would be like pretty cool if it had some. It's not like completely necessary. It would just be nice to have maybe just a little bit of like design on it, and maybe like some red boots. Now the next one I'm going to talk about is the Spider-Man suit from Far From Home. Now this is the first Spider-Man I'm talking about today that's based off of a look from one of the movies. I've never been the biggest fan of the black and red Spider-Man suit, but as far as the minifigure goes, it's a pretty accurate and well done minifigure. I do like how it has like some of these like detail lines that go across, and the spider design on the back is pretty cool. Even how it has like this like black piece on the chest, like it's supposed to like continue up through the arms. And this one does, like I said, it has this like printing here, and I do like how it is a dual mold for the legs here. This is the first Spider-Man so far that has leg printing. Just goes to show how it makes it look a lot cooler when it has it. Since Spider-Man typically has red boots, it just makes it look better. I also like how there are some like silver shines, as you can see, across the chest piece, which is really nice. But this is a nice LEGO minifigure. Now the next one I'm going to talk about is his look from No Way Home. Now I got this in a set technically before the movie came out, but as you can see, it's pretty similar to the last one, which makes sense. It's kind of the same suit. However, it has the remnants of the Iron Spider on it, just this like gold printing that goes across. Even comes down into the leg printing a little bit. I do like how it is like actually a different print and not just literally the same print, just with like some gold attached to it. Once again, has the dual mold still, but the back printing is also pretty nice. Once again, just has some like gold highlights on it. The spider makes it look a bit bigger. Probably one of the strangest differences is how the hands are black this time. I don't remember if they were differently black in the movie or not. Maybe this is more accurate and the other one is weird because it has the red hands. But either way, this is a pretty cool minifigure, and I do like how it is a little bit different than the previous one. Now, the next one we're going to talk about, it's probably one of my favorite LEGO Spider-Man minifigures, and that is the black and gold suit. Now, I'm a sucker for the black and gold minifigures, like I talked about with Iron Man. I just think it's a really cool, like, color combination. And these arm printings are super well done. There's so much detail on them, just so much detail everywhere. I mean, even look at this chest piece here. Look at how much, like, detail there is with the grays and all that. It's so well designed, and there's so much detail in it. Even in the face printing, there's so much detail, even in the legs. Just so much detail everywhere. These black and gold minifigures, when they do these always come out super well, and there's always so much detail to them. It's one of my favorite LEGO Spider-Mans that I have. Now, the last one I'm going to talk about today is the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. This came in like the Marvel minifigure package. It's based off of the episode of What If. Now, I find it weird how the other minifigures in those packets came with the newer cloth cape materials, whereas this one actually has like the old paper cape, which is a bit surprising that like it's just a little inconsistent. I don't know exactly what's up with that. I do like how the arm printing is a bit different from that previous Spider-Man that I talked about with the arm printing. However, this time you can see his like web shooters on his wrist, which is a pretty cool little detail there. This is the only red and blue Spider-Man suit I have with this leg printing, which is pretty nice. Once again, it's a dual mold. And the face, I think, is a little bit different, but it looks still pretty much the same as some of the other Spider-Mans. Just let's look overall. I like how well detailed it is. They do a really good job in the minifigure packets of adding details. Even down to the back printing, once again, pretty standard, pretty much what you would expect, but it really flows well with the rest of, like, the minifigure and everything. This Spider-Man did come with, like, Doctor Strange's cape. Once again, this is another one of my favorite Spider-Man minifigures. I think it's so cool, and, like, the amount of detail it is. Plus, it's just really cool that it has, like, the Doctor Strange's cape and everything with it. Now, that's every Spider-Man I have. There is another minifigure I kind of want to talk about today, which I was talking about with the cape of how they didn't give it, like, the more clothy material, which is a little weird, because I do have this version of the Watcher. Now, this uses, like, the same sort of thing, where it has this like top half that comes up and then the rest of the cape, but this one does have a cloth cape and just has like a paper top to it. I'm surprised they didn't do that with the other one, because I do love leaning into these newer capes a lot more. But just while I'm talking about this, I might as well talk about the rest of this minifigure. I do like how this, like, his skin color is a very cool different variant. I don't think I have many other minifigures that have that sort of look to him. Plus also, it's a nice head print, it's pretty accurate, and I do like this like gold piece in the middle here. Sorry, my camera's having some trouble focusing today. Now, there is no leg printing, but that's fine. I don't really think it needs it. It looks pretty cool without it. And there is also this like back printing here, and I do like how he is like sleeveless with one arm. I just kind of want to talk about this while I was on the topic of the capes especially, and why they couldn't just do it like this, I don't know. I don't know if I prefer it that way or this way. It's just strange, because every other minifigure that had a cape in the Marvel minifigures packets had this cloth cape here, so I don't know why this one in particular didn't. But that's everything for today. I will continue tomorrow, so I'll see you all then.
Farted on the track. Farted. Oh yeah. Yeah! We love that Dumpster Kid video. We all do! For more, like and subscribe. Hit it! Turn on the post notifications. Do it! Even when you're on vacation, you'll get notified.